In the sedimentation basin, the flakes that were formed in the coagulation basin sink to the ground. The sludge that accumulates in this way at the bottom of the basin is pumped out. The cleaned water leaves the basin at the outflow. Thus, there are two main parameters that we want to model with respect to the sedimentation basin. On the one hand, we want to determine the amount of sludge that settles on the ground of the basin, and on the other hand, we want to determine the amount of dry matter that is still contained in the water after the sedimentation process. This sedimentation process is the same process as the one in the grit chamber. The main difference here is that the sedimentation basin is typically a cylindrical one, whereas the grit chamber is rectangular. Therefore, we have to adapt the computation of the volume of the basin, as you can see on the slide. Additionally, of course, we have to use the correct parameters that you also can see on the slide. Apart from these changes, the process works exactly as described in the unit treating the grit chamber. In the sedimentation basin, in addition to computing the new concentration of dry matter, we also want to know the amount of sludge that we produce. For this computation, we use the simplifying assumption that the produced sludge is computed by just multiplying the difference in the concentration of the dry matter at the inflow and outflow of the basin by the volumetric flow rate through the plant. The formula that describes this behavior can be seen on the slide. Implement a sedimentation basin using the modified formulas as shown in this unit, as well as the modified parameters. Your implementation can use the implementation of the grit chamber as a basis. Implement the sedimentation basin also as a subsystem in your Simulink model. Instrument your model at will.